Okay, now let's try to study whether the high quality firm may signal its high quality through either price or specialization. In this video, let's focus on price. So again, before we can solve for the second best or under information asymmetry case, we typically first study the complete information case. That's either for a benchmark or because later when we solve the second best, typically one type of the principal is going to choose the first best option. So having some idea about first best is always helpful. So suppose the quality is observable. In this case, whether the firm is going to earn money in either category under a mild condition. Okay, so let's assume the firm wants to do that, and entering both market is feasible and optimal. Okay, in that case, in categories 1 and 2, the firm of quality J will try to solve two independent problems. Okay, I want to find my price in the first market and my price for the second market, and in either case, quality is observable by the consumers. So if I'm high type, I'm going to charge in that way. If I'm low type, I'm going to charge in that way. So the first best prices can be solved easily as this one and that one in either market. Okay, and I hope these formats are very similar to yours. Okay, so this price is affected by the quality and the cost. If your quality is higher, you are going to charge a higher price, which is reasonable. And if your cost is higher, you will be forced to also charge a higher price. The first best profit can also be obtained as this. Okay, now we're trying to formulate and solve for the case with information asymmetry. Our question now is about whether we may signal through price only. Okay, so the first question is, of course, is the first best price suboptimal? The answer is yes. Why is that? Suppose I'm a high type and I still charge my first best price. In that case, for consumers, they will think the price is too high. Why is that? Because for consumers, they now cannot tell whether you are high type or low type. So they are unwilling to pay for those high prices. If I don't want to signal my quality, then the result would be I need to lower my price because consumers will pay according to their expected quality level, and that's lower than QH. So I need to lower my price, unfortunately. Okay, so that creates a motivation for the high type consumer to signal its quality. So the firm now wants to ask, may I simply use price to signal my quality? Let's try to see it. So suppose I want to look for a separating equilibrium. In that case, I need to first define the objective function or the profit function for a firm. Suppose the firm is of type T and now it enters multiple markets and it sets prices P1 and P2. And then the total profit would be like this, right? This is the quality level, this is the quality level, and in a separating equilibrium, the quality level would be perceived, the true quality level would be perceived by consumers. So the high type one will sell as if the quality is just high, as believed by consumers, and so on. Okay, so this is the demand, this is the margin, this is the demand, this is the margin for both markets. And now, suppose we add star to the prices to be the optimal prices, the second best prices under separation. Now let's see what would be our formulation. In a separating equilibrium, for the high quality firm, we will solve this question. Okay? The objective function is just what we have defined in the previous page. And here, the high quality firm wants to find P1 and P2 to maximize its profit. And then there are two constraints. Okay, and here again there are two IC constraints. The first one is for the low type manufacturer or the low type firm not to mimic the high type. So for the low type firm, it need to consider its profit function with two options. Either it chooses the equilibrium prices for itself, or it mimic the high type by choosing whatever price set by the high type. Okay, so this is ICL, or we also have ICH. The high type manufacturer need to think about its own profit function and consider that for my decision, that's going to be better than mimicking the low type. Okay, so that's my IC constraints for the high type and low type firm. In either case, is that I am considering whether to keep sticking to my price or mimic you by choosing the low price, the other price or your price. Okay, but in any case, my type is still the same. So my profit function, the parameters are still there. Okay, and after solving this question, we get our equilibrium high type prices. And for the low type firm, it's very similar, almost identical, but the result is a low type equilibrium prices. Okay, so this would be the input of that one, that would be the input of this one, just as any static game. So that problem has been well defined and formulated. Solving it, of course, requires some steps, and well, we don't care about it, right? If you are interested in solving the problem, then take a look at the paper. There are the solution process. But now we're going to just write down the result. The result says that suppose the firm must enter both categories as we assumed. In a separating equilibrium, the high type firm would distort its price upwards in both categories. The low quality firm, on the other hand, would choose its first best prices. So this somehow confirms our intuition about signaling. So the thing is that prices alone can signal quality. In this particular example, the high type firm may simply charge a higher price, okay, a higher price than the low type firm, so that to differentiate itself from the low type firm. Okay, so the existence of a separating equilibrium tells us that this is possible, this is hopeful, and we see that price distortion is required. It's not just that the high type firm will choose a high price. Well, that's true. The price is going to be higher than that chosen by the low type firm. But the thing is that it's not going to be the first best price. It's going to be even higher. Okay? The equilibrium price in a separating equilibrium must be higher than that of the first best level for the high type firm. So we need to ask why there is the distortion needed and why it's an upward instead of a downward distortion. There must be some reasons. So consider the following. Suppose I'm the high quality firm and I choose the first best price. Then unfortunately the low quality firm would mimic myself by charging the same price. Why is that? Because charging the higher price, even though there are some costs, but the cost is not high enough to prevent the low type to do that. So as a high quality firm, I unfortunately need to adjust my price upwards to make it even higher. In this case, the high price, the too high price is going to decrease the demand, both for the high quality firm and both for a low quality firm. But if that guy is a low quality firm, it's going to be hurt more due to its lower cost. Why is that? Because when I have a high price, then his quality is low and his cost is also low. Okay, so that means when for each unit of demand, if the prices are the same, then his profit margin is larger. Okay, for the same price, the low-cost firm's profit margin is higher. So that means when we decrease the demand, the low-cost firm is hurt more. Okay, so that creates the basis for signaling through prices only. Because when we adjust the price upwards, the low-cost firm eventually will give up mimicking myself because that hurts too much. That hurts too much. So the thing here is that I need to make my price higher until the low quality firm gives up. When I adjust upwards, it hurts myself, but at the same time hurts the low quality firm more, so that eventually, when the price is high enough, I can signal myself. And the consumers would believe that, oh, the price is so high. If this guy is a low cost firm, he's not going to do that. So that's how my high price can signal my quality. Okay. So let's look at this game from the outside. We know that there is just one firm, right? So under complete information, the firm charges some price. And under incomplete information, the price may become higher, especially if this guy is a high quality firm. So if the company is actually of high quality, but I don't know, then the company need to differentiate itself from the low quality one. The company need to signal its quality by making the price higher. Okay? In that case, the company is going to charge an inefficiently high price. And that's how information asymmetry causes inefficiency, as always. Okay? So this is again an example showing that if a system has information asymmetry, just like here, if the quality is hidden, then the price goes to be unnecessarily high, and there are some welfare loss and efficiency loss. So this is the result under a separating equilibrium. This is the result under the separating equilibrium. Okay, so that's about signaling by prices. Thank you.